So in addition to for loops, we can also use while loops. And really there's not much of a difference between the two except mostly in syntax. And just sometimes it's just more similar to human logic to use one over the other. So a while loop is written like this. While, and then your Boolean test. For now, we'll just have a true value. And then you create a brace of statements, a block of statements, and this block will get executed so long as this test passes. So for instance, if you did something like this would actually happen an infinite number of times. So you don't want to, this will never stop running because there's no way to exit this loop, right? This test is always going to be true. So let's kill that for a second. That defaults. A while loop is powerful when this test actually can change. So an example of that would be, let's say you're going to compute a running sum. You want to sum up starting from 0. And let's say you didn't know how to multiply. So you just wanted to keep adding 5, and then printing that result. And you stop after it exceeds 1,000. So here you can see that it'll just keep iterating and it'll run 200 times. But then once the sum gets to 1,000, this test fails and it stops. Okay. Now there may be times when you write a while loop that you want to exit early. Okay, so you might not want to wait all the way till the sum is 1,000. For instance, let's say if the sum equals 500 on the nose, at that point, let's just say you want to stop. You could either just, of course, change this value, but just for the sake of understanding, you can also put a test inside here and break out the loop early using the break statement. So now instead of 200 times, this is being run 100 times. And you can see that once sum hits 500, it's not even going to get printed. It's just going to exit. Okay? There's another statement that's useful called continue. Unlike break, continue actually jumps to the end of the loop and then keeps going. So what's interesting about that is that in this loop, what will actually happen? So instead of 200 times, well, what will happen is once the sum actually gets up to 500, it'll hit continue, which will simply skip over this statement that follows it, right? If you had a bunch of statements, it would skip over all those statements that come after it. But we just have one right here. So skip over that print line and then keep right on going. So sure enough, this loop we can see is executed 200 times, but the print line is executed only 199 times because it skipped for that one case where the sum equals 500 exactly. Okay, again, just like with the nested for loops, I think it really pays to understand how this while loop works, how continue and break work. And so take a few minutes just to play with this loop and just change some of the values around, try to insert continue and break, just so that you know how these operate and you feel like you can predict what will happen when you use any of these tools.